Hi, everybody, we're live. It's Saturday, May 30th, and it's noon, which means we're drawing together. But I'm a little sad today because this is the end of drawing at home with France. It's the last live related to that, but it's not the last live because I'm going to continue doing lives. Oops, let me just mute myself on YouTube. Okay, so um, as I was saying, I'm going to continue drawing live through June, hopefully July as well. Kind of taking it month by month, but that's my intention. With the exception of June 6th, but we'll definitely resume on June 13th. Okay, we're back here doing what we do best, which is drawing together. I'm so happy that you guys are here again today. It's not, again, it is not the last drawing live together. I'm going to continue through, from June 13th on. To do this on Saturday. Also, guys, if you want to pick up any one of my class, if you look underneath the video today, um, you can see that there's a code to grab two of my classes and get 20% off. And the code is Artful20. Artful20 will get you 20% off any two of my classes. Okay? So, hi everyone. Yay, I see a lot of familiar names. I'm so happy to see you guys here. Okay, so you know that in June, starting tomorrow, or no, I guess Monday, duh, because June 1st is Monday, is Dylan Sarah's class at Sketchy. And then July, we have 30 Faces, 30 Days in Procreate, and I'm going to be one of six Procreate artists doing this. I'm so excited about that. And then we'll see what happens in the future, guys. But we can talk about this some other time when we have more information about this. So I asked you guys in my group Drawing with France at Sketchy Art School to vote whether we should do this in pen, pencil, or Procreate. And the results are in. I don't know if you saw it in the comments. 46.1% voted for pen, 36.8% for pencil, and 17.1% for Procreate. So 46.1 wins, and we're going to draw in pen. Now, I love the fact that Ute in the comments actually suggested to do this in fountain pen. I have, my favorite fountain pen in the world is this Mont Blanc, which is built in Germany. This is a 1987 Mont Blanc. It's a 159 Meisterstück. And I absolutely love this beast, this 33-year-old, solid gold nib Mont Blanc, which was bequeathed to me by my stepfather. One day we'll do something with that. If I started in Mont Blanc, though, it would take forever. We would probably spend 50 minutes just on, let's build the nose, and you guys probably want to see a little more than that. So I'm using my trusty Bic ballpoint pen, and we're going to go with that. Let me talk to you about the paper, though, because I was very careful to choose my favorite paper out there. Are you ready? It's Blick. Do you guys know this brand? This is also a store. And it's called Bristol, Vellum Bristol. Those are pretty thick sheets. You get a block of 15 like this, made in the USA. So what's not to love, right? And this paper is absolutely the best, in my opinion, for a ballpoint pen. Why is that? Because when you flip over the paper, you don't get as much, well, there's very little tooth anyway, but you get even less tooth in the back, but just a tiny bit, just enough to get that little bit of grab. Oh, it's amazing. So yeah, that's what we're going to use. At least that's what I'm going to use. I also invite you to use any kind of pretty smooth paper. And absolutely, Barb, if you're asking the right question, I'm so happy you're asking this. Can we use a pen in Procreate? Yes. why don't you use Procreate? You know, grab the ink bleed, for instance, or any kind of calligraphy pen or whatever pen you want to use, and that's fine too. I don't want you in these live drawings to feel limited to what I do. This is obviously an excuse to draw. This is an excuse to draw together, to get together and connect and draw along. So while I'm using ballpoint because this is what the votes, kind of led me to do, obviously you are free to draw in any medium that you want, okay? So enough about this face here. We're going to focus on Joshua. Can you see Joshua here? Joshua Bran. I'm kind of pronouncing this the French or German way because I don't know any other way to pronounce it. Um, really, a really cool photo that I got on Sketchy Art School. He is on Sketchy app. And I love the fact that it's black and white. I love the fact that it's in perspective and that the glasses are not going to be, frontal like this, that we're going to have to do a little bit of distortion. The eyes are looking away from us. Oh, it's just the kind of drawing I love doing. So, Joshua Brand, thank you. Dana, you're here. Thank you for pointing it out. So let's shift the focus to the actual drawing. Can I point out the fact that on the, I guess the nose there, okay, the bridge of his nose, I guess it's called, there is barely a line. So we're going to try to move around that and be very careful, okay? I also want to try to draw as sketchily as fast as possible. I have my paper there where I'm going to wipe my pen. I am using a clipboard. You can see the top here because I want a hard surface underneath. And I'm going to start. I'm going to start, you guys, and I'm not going to worry too much about being too precious today. I just want to draw as fast as possible, okay? Oh yeah, and I'm not going in pen first because no. So I'm starting with this line here, which is the line of where the glasses are going to be. And I'm going to try not to be too nervous about the fact that, in fact, I am starting in pen. Ugh. Because we're doing pen, there's really just, it's unmerciful, right? And we've got this lens here, which is much bigger than this one, so, let's try to keep that in mind. Things are pretty distorted. So I'm starting with the eyeglasses. That's going to be my anchor, and hoping I can do something with that. So instead of drawing the nose here, which is a strong temptation, I'm not going to draw it. And I'm going to go with what I see here as being the rim of the glasses. All right, I really need to relax my hand right now and just try not to be precious, try not to be too, like too beautiful. I just want to draw faster. Okay? That's basically my goal for today. And come what may, that's always the case with drawing in pen. It's like, anything can happen. Okay. Oh, okay, cool. Lauren, you're here. Okay. Hope I'm not messing up too badly to begin with. There's a lot of distortion here between one lens and the other. I'm going to try not to lose track. Okay, is this a straight line? No, it goes this way. Okay. Also, while I'm sitting now, it could be that I will, like stand like I'm doing right now because the problem with drawing with your paper flat on your desk is it will provide with a great deal of distortion. We don't want that. Alright, I'm already being fussy and I really don't want that. I want to be as loose as possible. And what do I mean by that? I mean this. Like moving very loosely with my pen, making the marks that I hope will be right, and just kind of hoping that it works. You see the eye here, even that little bit of light. You know, when you draw with a pen, you end up doing a lot of negative space as you go. Yeah, I'm just trying to relax my hand because it's just not being, it's not going with the flow right now. My hand is, it's kind of a, I don't know, I almost have the death grip going on my pen and I don't like it. You know what would really help with something like this, with, you know, feeling the way I feel right now with my hand. Yes, I'm wearing 2 bracelets, guys. Is it making too much noise? I hope not. The thing when I feel this way, when my hand is feeling a little bit, you know, I want to do a quick blind contour, you know, to relax. But, like, ideally, that's what I would do. Did you notice I'm ignoring the nose? All right, you'll see why, because the nose is absent here. The nose is going to appear in different ways. Okay. Okay, and there's the edge of Joshua's eye with some. See, I'm trying to be loose and not encumber myself with precision and all these things that really just make a drawing too. I don't know how to explain, but. Okay. Dana, I was thinking about you last night and wondering if you were anywhere near the Barclays Center in Brooklyn and how it went. Because, man, the images I saw today in the New York Times were really, really impressive. Okay, some hair. I know we've been drawing on Saturdays, kind of deliberately putting aside current events and all the things that have kept us home. But obviously there's a lot going on right now, and it's hard to. I mean, it's impossible to ignore, and it's hard not to talk about it. And that's partly why I was wondering how Dana was doing, and if things were okay in her neck of the woods. Okay, so already I've secured one eye here. This one's not quite done, but I'm not worried about that. So, you know me by now, you know my proclivity for cross-hatching. And of course I'm going to be tempted to do that, but I'm also very tempted to draw quicker. And again, not slow myself down with, you know, what I usually do, which is, oh, let's just do all the details here and there and everywhere. That's me criticizing my own way of drawing, guys, which I get sick of sometimes. So I'm trying to kind of get out of that and just, yeah. I'm glad to hear that, Dana. It's good. Yeah, woof. Okay, so as I'm moving a little fast, again, just trying to fill in things a little more loosely than I usually would. I don't know how much you've enjoyed the last drawing of the lesson, of the course, or of the, the class, I guess, of Laura Marie. I really enjoyed doing something a little looser than usual. I just posted it on Instagram today. It's just a very very relaxing approach to doing a portrait, which is to not be too precise right off the bat. See, that's what I'm doing here, just moving faster. But I'm still not relaxed. It's very strange. Still not, like, I'm not feeling this, my hand just doing what it's supposed to do. I don't know why. I'm having a hard time relaxing it. So bear with me. It could cost me this drawing, actually. It really could. And by that I mean I could really mess up as a result of being not as, loose as I would like to be right now. Okay. So I don't know how many of you are also drawing in pen, and I'm sorry that I cannot always see your comments because I'm focused on trying to finish, or at least, I mean, finish. No, that's a big word for me. But at least get some kind of, result. Okay. Here. This is dark too, so I'm going for it. And this is super dark as well, right there. Look at that. I don't know where to stop this yet, so I'm going to leave this a little undefined right now. Same here, we've got the edge of the nose that's going to come right up to it. So yeah, loose. Trying to loosen up. Yeah. So again, if you guys want to pick up any two of my classes on Sketchy Shop, you can get 20% off. With the code Artful20, I believe, right? Did I get it right? Yes? All right. Here is what I'm doing now. I am putting little lines where I don't necessarily want to draw in because those are reflections of light. So I'm going to try to keep that untouched as much as I can. Okay, we have some eyebrow action up there, right? And then otherwise it's basically okay, let's see if I'm getting it right by doing it like this. See, instead of doing a crazy cross-hatching that takes a while because it's very precise, I'm going more loosely, and trust me, it is a challenge for me here because my default mode is to just be very finicky and trying to get away from that so at least we can get some results today. So still loosening up my hand. Here we're going to have an interesting spot of shading. I'm going to leave it like this for now. It's just very loose, okay? Bear with me. All right. Am I, should I breathe? Am I stressing you out? Okay. I'm going to take a deep breath. Thank you, Stina. You know what? I'm going to take a drink of water. I'm going to ask you guys how you're doing, because really, yes, I'm like trying to make this fast, and it is really stressing me out. Oh, Jenny, you're drawing in Procreate. I'm glad. Oh, the ink bleed must be really neat for this. Really neat. Good call. All right. I don't want to stress out anybody, so. Let's just try to gather at least a little bit that I have already. Maybe I will be a little futzy after all. Look at that. That's kind of my comfort zone. Oh my gosh, and I did smear a little bit of ballpoint here underneath my, yeah. I won't stress. I've been stressed actually. Okay. Yeah, how about slowing down? That might help a little bit here. Okay, that's already helping. Okay, much better. Another spot of light here. This is a question I want to answer as I'm drawing this. Recently on Sketchy Art School, I got a really important question about how to make a line not too stark, when it goes from dark to lighter. And I was trying to explain in words, which is really, really a hard thing to do. Trying to explain in words that you just kind of blend it in. And by blend it in, I mean this. You see what's happening here? This could be a stark line, but if you bring a little bit very lightly with your pen and blend in to where it's lighter, then you're getting the right thing. I'm slowing down. I'm slowing down. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Hopefully it does look like eyes and glasses, Zach, right? That's That's somewhat encouraging. One of the things about this paper, this Blick paper that I'm using, is super, super smooth, but it has a little bit of tooth that just grabs enough ink. I'm constantly, by the way, wiping my ink on the side, the point. And now I'm going very lightly. I don't know what I was trying to do here, but okay, we'll go back to it. Okay, I feel a lot better after slowing down. I need to pick up this question here, D. Wade. I would love to see how you would tackle the cheek, jaw, and neck. That will be in about 3 hours. If I get to the cheek, we'll be lucky. I think today we'll focus very much on this area here. If we're lucky, yes. Yeah, this would take me a while, I would say. It's just how it is with pen. That's the nature of the beast, you know. Those of you who've taken the class, with me, you know that in pencil you can at least cover some ground with, broad strokes. But with pen, that's all you have. So you basically deal with this medium and just sort of build and build and build very, very slowly. Like this is what I'm doing to Joshua's forehead right now. Just okay, let me flip this around for a second. Oh no, I'm going to be off camera for really half a second, but just bear with me. No, maybe you can still see. Yes, okay. This feels a little more like home. I started really fast thinking, I need to cover as much ground. I feel a lot of pressure in these lives to at least produce something. And when really I could be perfectly happy with just half an eye. So yeah, I don't think I will go much further than this area. Going super softly now on my pen. Just super, super softly. Barely applying any pressure. And same thing here. You see this line here? I'm not too crazy about it, so I'm gonna blend it in a little. To, make it look a little less stark. Thanks, Robin. I really appreciate this because, right, like I feel much better doing what I usually just kind of like. Oh, I'm just gonna slow down and get into that groove. Talking of groove, we have not even started the nose. And now I'm darkening what I see as being darker on the original photo. Okay, and the way we're going to suggest the nose is by suggesting where it where it casts shadows and so forth. Like here, you see what I'm doing? Just starting to suggest the descent to the nose. This is fairly dark here. Here too. Some eyebrow there. How's everybody doing? You know, that's a good question, Ute. I really don't know stippling. Like I've never really gone that route, and I'm sure that if I took the time to explore it, that might be, that might be grand. I just don't know it and haven't explored it. So I think that might be a good, a good way to, to tackle these things. Okay. Thank you. I do like unfinishing, meaning just walking away and just leaving things as is. Okay, guys, are you ready? We're going to get into the nose area. What does this mean? It means that we're going to suggest, obviously the nose being here, but not necessarily by drawing a line here. That would be wrong. We're going to draw where it sort of meets the eyeglass here. Very softly, going down this way. Ta-da. Nostril. Maybe I hope I'm getting this right. So you see, I'm only starting the nose where I see it, so I'm drawing that. I've always loved drawing noses, by the way. They're great. They're so much fun. I'm putting a piece of paper underneath here so I don't smear, because believe it or not, this kind of ballpoint pen ink is not quick to dry. Okay, now let's build a little bit of nose here, shall we? Tiny bit. Okay. Okay, I will speak a bit louder, definitely. I do love cross-hatching. Thank you for your sweet comments. I can't keep up with everybody's remark, unfortunately, but maybe at the end we'll be able to chat a little bit if you want to ask me something. Oh, right, I was in the nose. I'm going back in the eye when really I was here. I am feeling 10 times more relaxed than I did at the beginning of this broadcast, where I really just tried to rush, you know? Don't drool now. Alright, so this is where the glasses meet the eye. The nose, I mean, what am I saying? Nose. Trying to convey that best I can. I don't know if I'm doing anything right here with this particular lens. Okay. So you see how there's an absence of nose here. This is kind of on purpose, so that you know, it looks, yeah, as realistic as possible. The more pressure you're going to apply on the ballpoint like this, the more it's going to want to drool. So be very careful the moment you add like pressure, as I'm doing right now. You want to wipe it always, okay? Try to do this right. Nostril. Is the nostril at the right place? I hope so. Okay, better. I don't know if you can hear the hum of the air conditioning unit right outside of my window. It's actually really nice, really pleasant. I don't hear much chiming from my chimes today. I guess there is very little wind. They're right there, they're kind of still. Okay. For those of you who are French and maybe more of my age group, if you remember Téléphone, the band Téléphone, they had this song called New York avec toi, and they were talking about le ronron de l'air conditionné, and every time there's an air conditioning machine, you know, doing that next to me, I think of that line in that song. Le ronron de l'air conditionné. Although we would call it la clim nowadays, I guess. Okay. Yes, there will be more live in June. And Beatrice, this is the end of the class, but this is not the end of the live drawings. We're going to resume them on June 13th, which is just in a couple of weeks, and then it's going to go through the summer as far as we can take it. You know, I enjoy this so much. Yeah. That, yeah. I'm not ready to stop. This is a little bit of an oasis of calm, although the beginning of this was probably not as calm as I would have wanted, but a little oasis of calm in this crazy world. Okay, we are slowly building the shape of the nose here. Hope you guys are doing okay. Yay, yeah, we are continuing the live drawings, absolutely. I love doing this. This has been kind of an anchor or a tether to sanity and structure that has been much more necessary than I'm willing to admit. Really. Okay, so the nose is, slowly kind of emerging from, gosh, I hope it's actually pretty accurate in terms of size. Because when I fill a page personally, of noses, because I love practicing them, the beauty of doing that is you don't really have to worry about how they relate to the rest of the face. You just draw them, and whatever proportions you get, it doesn't really matter when you study them. But then boom, when you have one with a face, it's like, oh right, it needs to match. It's kind of what's happening here. How you doing, Lapin? Okay. Just going up a little bit here in the nose, but not much. Okay, how much time? Oh, this is not too bad. This is what my watch says. 12:43. Which means I've been at it for about, what, maybe 38 minutes or something like that? Cynthia, I know what you mean. You have to decide right when you start, how big am I going to make this person on my page? You have to make that decision right off the bat, otherwise you are going to run into, growth issues. So you definitely want to limit yourself to a scale and just say, you know what, it's going to fit between this point and this point, and stick to that. Otherwise, then you run into exactly what you're talking about, which is, oh my gosh, he's, like, too big on the page. We don't want that. I hope it makes sense. Also, Susan, you were asking, I struggle with being so heavy-handed. Suggestions. The suggestions that I have is this. when you are not drawing a portrait, when you're like maybe on the phone or chatting or just doodling along, why don't you do that? Like on a piece of paper, try to practice doing thin lines. So, for example, something like this, right? This is very thin and very light versus heavy lines. You see the difference of value that we can get? And this is definitely, this is definitely helpful. Okay. Yeah, so my setup is an IPEVO camera, IPEVO. This is a document camera that is filming this, and the rest is my Mac. It's a nice tool to have. Okay. I really appreciate this comment, Action Addy. Thank you so much. That's how I feel about it too. So, guys, if you want to pick up any 2 of my classes or more at Sketchy, you can always grab that discount code of Artful20. All right, we're getting somewhere. We're getting there slowly, but we're getting somewhere, right? So, being able to flip the paper that you're drawing on is so essential to me. I do it in Procreate, I do it on paper. I was wondering, for those of you who actually voted for the pen today, I hope you are here. I hope you didn't just vote and be like, I'm not going to attend, but I'm going to say pen, you know? But if you did vote for pen, I would like to know why. Like, what is it about seeing me draw in pen that maybe you get more out of? I'd like to know that. That is interesting for me to know, you know? So please tell me in the comments. I'm going to try to keep an eye on them, okay? Why pen rather than pencil or Procreate? I love drawing in pen, so this is not a punishment to me. On the contrary, my gosh, I was really happy to see that. But I'm just as happy to draw in Procreate or in pencil, so that's the thing. I personally don't have a huge preference. One way or another. But I got to know, you know? So Annie, you love how the pen feels on the paper. Yep, I do too. I can relate. So are there any other answers? Okay, technique, sure. It is permanent and you can't erase. That's absolutely right. Yep. Drawing without a net. Yep. Yes, absolutely. It is pure cross-hatching. Yep. Okay, I'm glad. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you. In pen because it helps to see how you make decisions when you can't rely on the broad edge. Absolutely, okay. So yeah, Danielle, this is what I was talking about earlier. We really don't have the luxury to make broad strokes underneath. We just have these tiny little strokes, and that's what we have to deal with. Yeah. Yeah, mistakes are not the end of the world. You're absolutely right. I agree. Excellent. cool. I'm glad I'm getting to get some answers from you guys. So here we are. I started this drawing convinced that I would do, you know, something much looser than I usually do, because I'm like, well, I can do that, right? And really, frankly, the truth is, I am much more comfortable moving at the pace at which I usually move, which is this, you know. And trying to do anything else is almost not genuine for me. So yeah, I tried and I stressed myself out, right? Cool. And I agree, drawing with a fountain pen would have been an extremely different adventure, because you don't get to decide with a fountain pen the pressure on the pen, you know, whereas the ballpoint, whether you go, you know, heavy or light, you're going to get different values, right? Fountain pen, you don't get that. So it's tricky. I mean, it's just a different approach. I don't find it trickier, but it's different. Okay, guys, keep in mind that if you want to keep growing with me, even though drawing at home with France just finished, I guess we can say today, you can always grab any 2 of my classes and get 20% off with the code Artful20. We have Dylan Sarah doing this amazing class in June. You know, making your own ink, and, you know, I don't know, like, how that's even possible. It blows my mind what Dylan does. Because me, ink, I buy it, you know, directly in my pens. So yeah, we've got that going on, and then in July we've got 30 Faces, 30 Days Procreate edition. Can't wait to be part of that, because I'll be part of that. And in August, well, we'll have to see about August, guys. I'm gonna just leave that there. Okay. Is everybody doing all right? It's almost 1 o'clock, but I'm not gonna stop right away. I hope it's okay with everybody. Okay. I am so not done with this nose here. Look at that. There's so much more to be done with this nose. I love a good Bristol paper for this type of work, you know. It's just the right support. The moleskin paper is a very close second. But I think my default support, if I want to really draw in ballpoint, yeah, this is it. This is the Bristol. I remember I bought these not notebooks, but pads of paper, kind of on a whim. I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to try that, and wow. I schlepped back to the Blick store weeks later to buy more, because I don't have a single art store close to where I live. I have to actually travel miles to get to one. But that's okay, because we can draw just as well on photocopy paper too. Right? It's not about the supplies. Right, so here I have absolutely zero line to inform, you know, where the nose starts, where the eye ends, right, Elijah? So yeah, it's an interesting absence of line there that I really wanted to achieve carefully. And this is where his hair kind of meets the. Just want to barely suggest some hair. Okay. I love these kinds of little moments on a face where um, you know, we've got this. Oh my gosh, Nikira, you're absolutely right. Jerry's Artorama is where I used to go, but I also love the Blick in Paramus, New Jersey. That's the one I go to. The one right on Route, I want to say Route 4 or Route 17. I never know which one is which. And yeah, either one of these two stores are pretty cool. But Jerry's, yeah, that's the one I used to go to a lot. Love that store. Are you in that area, Nikira? Maybe you are. No, Laura, I do not know what Silver Point is. I have no idea. Maybe I should try it, right? Yay. Andy, I don't know when it's right. When it just doesn't look atrocious, then you're like, okay, I'm going to keep going with that. And then you just kind of go with that. I know it's probably a frustrating answer, but that's how it is for me. Because I have not been, you know, classically trained, I don't have a very academic answer to certain things that I'm sure you guys would rather have, but unfortunately I go very much with what looks right, what feels right, and if it doesn't feel right, then maybe I just walk away. Oh, your Blick is in Berkeley, Anne. That's interesting. And those of you who want to see, this is just simply a ballpoint big pen. It's medium. Okay. Dylan, thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate it. And good luck, Dylan, for your class on June 1st, starting this Monday. I hope you guys have joined and you're as intrigued as I am with the whole ink making business that Dylan is going to guide you through. It's so cool. All right. Ah, okay, okay. So, Nikira, you know West Orange. I like that town. A friend of mine just bought a house there just last week. It was on the market for 7 hours because everybody is trying to get out of Manhattan. So they're buying all the New Jersey homes and, of course, driving up the prices, which we are very happy about, as you can imagine. Okay, everyone, what do you think? Yeah, I order a lot of my supplies online, Diane. I'm like you. Whatever I need now, I just order online because I usually can't. And plus, these stores are closed as we speak. So, but I have not needed many supplies. I buy these in boxes of 12, and they last me forever. I saw that Marcel this week just got a really interesting bunch of. You posted on Instagram, right, Marcel? You got all the monolith, the Cretacolor. Yeah. I need to buy more of those. I don't know why I just have one or two. Again, it was probably a random purchase when I went to Blick, or maybe Pearl in Manhattan back when it was open on Canal Street. Oh no, I used to go to the one on 23rd Street. Okay, guys, I can go on and ramble, but I think I'm gonna wrap it up by asking you if you wanted to ask me any questions about what happened here today, if you wanted me to talk about what I just did and how I did it, or if you just wanted to wave and say goodbye. So why don't I take some questions now and try to talk to you a little more directly, okay? Thank you, Hazy Jane, too. It's a great song, it's a great name, and I really appreciate you being here. Okay. And Marcel, you love the Cretacolor. I'm so glad because, my gosh, yeah. And Cathy Serou, I love the fact that you say pas de repentir. Absolutely pas de repentir. There's no going back. Absolutely. Yep, I like that. Okay, Cynthia, I'm glad you did that too. You're going to love it. And let me see what other comments I have. Karen Moore, thank you for continuing these sessions into June. Indeed, I told you that I think selfishly I'm doing this as much for me and for my own sanity as for you guys. This has been like a necessity. I don't want to brush aside the problems of the world and everything we're going through right now, and the outrage and the sadness and all the things I've been personally feeling. I'm not brushing them aside, but I'm just also taking the time to do something creative and positive and hopefully not feel too much stress, which I did at the beginning of this. You felt it, right? Stina was like, "Oh, you're stressing me out, France." And good point. But the more I crosshatch, the the more I find that place where I want to be and relax. And okay, let's just suggest the arm here of the glasses. So I think at least we've got this to go on. Okay. So the reflection in the glasses, did you notice that I isolated these shapes at first by just making very quick, like little, shapes like this. And then I cross-hatched around them so that they stayed in negative space. And that way you have a sense of light reflecting. Because with a pen, that's all we have. That's all we have, right? So I hope that answers your question. Let me see if I can answer more. Okay, I'm so glad, Karen, that you've signed up for classes. Yay, excellent. Okay. And Jenny, it's perfectly okay to use the eraser. Why not, right? I know that I build a lot with the eraser when I draw in Procreate, absolutely. Oh my gosh, thank you, Anne. Thank you for being here. You've been taking my classes and wow. Thank you for everything. Daniel Desnoyers, because that's how your name is pronounced in French. Daniel Desnoyers, I'm glad you learned a lot. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Good. Okay, so here is the brand of the pen. It's a Bic. Can you see it here? Bic pen. Yeah, it's French. And it's medium. And I never draw with anything but medium. Okay. Yes, there is a reason why I'm using blue ink. It's because I do not have this pen in black. I only have it in blue. And I have another one like this and it's blue too. But sometimes I do draw in black. We did a live session once with my big pen with the 4 colors and I did it in black. Absolutely. Babies or toddlers. Oh my gosh, Beatrice, we're going to tackle that in 30 Faces, 30 Days in July. I decided to give myself the extra challenge of drawing a baby or two. I'm kind of intimidated by that, but I'm doing it. I'm determined to, wrap my brains around how to draw a baby. Okay, so glad you took the cross hatching class. Awesome. Okay, and Elijah, I'm glad that you enjoyed the sketch of George Floyd, even though I was really just extremely, like almost emotional drawing that. Trying to keep it together. Drawing from reference or for nature, for me, it's kind of the same thing. I really make no distinction. It's weird, right? Yep, absolutely. So yeah, Cindy, it would be an interesting thing to tackle. I would have to get more comfortable with it, but I think it is something that we might want to think about at Sketchy, no doubt. Okay, hi Betty, I'm glad that you were here. Okay, thank you. And yes, Gwendolyn Domingo, I definitely tried to hatch so that it covers the shape of the face. If you take my cross-hatching class, you're going to see all the details about this and how I explain this. How would you add the tiny lines past the glasses? So here, I go extremely lightly. Did you notice that I barely covered? And I would just continue going like this with the shape of the cheek. Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you, thank you. Okay. Okay, thank you, Ute. Thank you for being there almost every Saturday, I believe, right? Okay, thank you. The roundness is pretty simple. You just curve with your lines a little bit and try to make it work, which is always what I teach with cross hatching, which is kind of do the work of a sculptor rather than just thinking in 2D, if that makes sense, right? Okay, yes, see you in 30 Faces in 30 Days. Awesome. Annie, that's really touching. Thank you so much. And yeah, in French, I could do this en français, I could be like, bon, allez, on va dessiner avec des hachures and blah, 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 and talk to you about le stylo bic, blah, blah, blah. It'd be a lot of fun to do this en français, right? Okay, guys. I think I'm going to sign off. Thank you. Thank you, Chris, for being here. And I'm so looking forward to July. Oh my gosh, so many comments. I'm trying to answer them all. Yes, just, Jackie, when you have to leave white space, you just have to very much decide where that white space is going to be. You just have to make that conscious choice of, okay, this is where I'm not going to crosshatch. And it really, crosshatching is as much crosshatching as it is restraint. You really have to use a lot of restraint. I have done plenty of crosshatching portrait where things were in, overkill, and that teaches you, oh, right, I did too much here. Like I almost did too much here, maybe. I'm not sure, but maybe. Okay. And Elijah, I understood exactly what you meant. Don't worry. And here, Beata, I would go very, very slowly and longer hatches to convey that curve, definitely. I might have to continue this a little later today. Absolutely. I'm so glad, Nancy, that you had that dormant habit for 20 years. Awesome. So, Teresa, it's on Instagram, my time-lapse version of my George Floyd portrait. Okay. All right. Guys, I'm going to sign off. I hope it's okay with you. And, okay, it's 1:12. We've been together for 72 minutes. I'm going to continue this at my own pace, which is slow, at some point, maybe today or tomorrow, and then I'll post the results on Sketchy Art School. Let's head over to Sketchy Art School. My group is Drawing with France, and this is where you can post what you did today. Okay, and yeah, a nose and mouth class, that would be really cool. Yeah. All right, everyone, we're gonna say goodbye. I'm starving. I need to eat, and I'll see you soon, okay? So next week, I won't be here with Sketchy, but on June 13th, I will be back doing this with you, drawing along, okay? All right, everybody, have a good couple of weeks. I'll see you soon. And I'm going to sign off like this. Okay, bye. Bye, everyone. See you very soon. Mwah. Merci. Merci bien. Reposez-vous aussi, okay? Ciao.